About to kill that slime, Sonny? Well, let me tell you why you should keep it. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, here to bring you another quick tips for DMs episode, today talking about slimes, oozes, black puddings, gelatinous cubes, all of these wonderful, horrible creatures that have been devouring adventurers since the beginning of Dungeons and Dragons. They're fascinating, wonderful, fun creatures, and it's great seeing that moment of panic on a player's face when they realize, oh no, really? Right now? It's just absolutely so much fun. They're a classic monster, they're a staple of the tabletop RPG genre, but there are uses for them outside of combat, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such a legendary roster of incredible heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now, let's talk about why you want to keep these various oozes and slimes around, both for DMs and players alike. See, the thing is that they serve a pretty useful function, especially in a lot of dungeons that they're in. They tend to keep them fairly clean of a lot of debris, breaking down all those minerals and absorbing those nutrients, breaking down the flesh, the bones, the metals, all the different metallic equipment. All of that gets broken down and taken away. I mean, that's exactly what they do. They're acidic, they're corrosive, they annihilate everything but the surrounding stone structure. All of that organic material will just be gone, and therein lies their usefulness. Players, you may want to try to capture a couple of these things, or at least portions of them, and help to foster and grow them into something larger, particularly if you have a base that's primarily constructed out of stone, or if you have cisterns, latrines, a sewer system, and a means of keeping these various kinds of oozes trapped down in there. They will continuously clean up down underneath. Not only will they continuously clean up underneath the castle, saving you from having to send workers down in there and digging out all the crap and piss that's built up, you can count on them as an added layer of defense for any enemies who might try to burrow their way under the castle walls or come up underground from some fashion. That's another layer of defense for you to have right there in the way, and it's incredibly useful. Not only that, but can you imagine keeping bits of gelatinous cube inside of stone jugs, stone jars, and just chucking them at opponents when that breaks open and they latch on and they start leaching away all of those minerals and nutrients, breaking down, just melting away all of that fleshy sustenance that they count on to grow. Absolutely painful and horrifying. But this is also useful for DMs as well, especially if you're going for somehow integrating or modernizing your setting, still using a lot of fantasy tools and resources. Having a bunch of gelatinous cubes or black puddings being used in sewer systems as cleaning methods, as cleanup, is actually a pretty efficient way of dealing with all that excess waste. It's definitely a way to get around a lot of the limitations that, non-existent plumbing might have had. So, definitely so many avenues and so many ways for you to use these different kinds of creatures. And it's not limited to just these kinds of creatures. If you have a bag of devouring or devouring bag, it's a cursed item that registers as a bag of holding. But when you put your hand into it, you have a chance, you roll on a percentile die, of actually sticking your hand in the mouth of an interdimensional creature that uses these various cursed bags as feeding spots, so they'll chomp off a hand and feed a greater beast. Well, kind of the same usage. This is a great item for disposal of all different kinds of organic matter that you just don't want piling up and causing disease or attracting pests, any kinds of issues like this. So definitely there's a lot of different uses for a lot of different items, and in particular the creatures out there that you may come across. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Hit those like or dislike buttons and leave a comment to let me know if there are any other creatures from the various bestiaries, monster manuals, and the like that you have found clever and creative uses for in your own games and campaigns, whether as players or DMs. And remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit that subscribe button, and become a regular member here. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.